Hello, NADA 2026. My name is Kerri Wise. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Lotlinx, and we are here again live at Lotlinx. This is our conversations with influencers, consultants, experts in the automotive retail business. And I have with me my friend, my colleague, Jen Suzuki. And if you don't know who Jen Suzuki is, Jen is the CEO of eDealer Solutions. She is one of the only outside NADA guest instructors. I think you've been doing it for 12 years for the Academy, which is, an amazing feat. You have a show on CBT News. You have your Dealer Talk podcast.
Yes.
And are you kidding me? You started another company.
I did.
Zuki Talk.
Yes. Yeah, so that's conversational AI, and I train service advisors. So now I'm helping them back them up when they need to make that MPI call.
Oh my God, this woman is a busy woman, and I think for us, we have been known for machine learning and helping dealers with their inventory risk and moving cars. We've recently launched Revive, which is our lead engagement product, and I think you're the perfect person to talk to that is an expert on this internet BDC world and really some of the best practices out there. So that's why I wanted to talk to you specifically.
Okay.
So me and you have a tendency to go back and talk for a long time. So we're going to try to keep it short. But I want to ask you, first of all, how did you get into automotive retail? What's your career been like? How many years?
Way back. But going way back, I got in the business really because I needed to make some money. And I had a lot of family challenges where my beautiful life got pulled out from under me. And I wanted to get my things back. And people told me, if you apply at a car dealership, you could get a job. And so at 18 years old, I got in the car business selling Toyotas in Central California. And eventually I ended up going to college. I went to Northwood. I paid my way through it by selling cars. And then I just kind of moved my way up through the business. I worked in every role. And then I got recruited, into a big, large automotive group down in South Florida where I was tasked with building their internet sales departments. And so I really was been an OG in lead, into lead processes. And so I could share some of my best practices. I'll tell you what we're doing right now.
Well, and how many years have you been in the business? Not to age you or anything.
Don't say that.
I know you started at 5.
I'm only 22, so it's only been like a handful of years.
plus what? How many years? Okay.
I've been over 2 decades. In
2
this
decades.
Business. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. And so much has changed. And so I think I want to talk to you about, you're working with dealerships across the country. You're in the NADA Academy.
Yeah.
What challenges are you seeing when it comes to the internet BDC departments?
Well, first off, it's a lot of in-market buyers. Is that even a saying? I think I just made that up.
Non-in-market buyers.
The problem is there's a lot of ghosts, AKA a lot of ghosts. And you've got your humans that are tasked with following up relentlessly with people that are not in market. And this is one of the biggest threats because we have a lot of hardworking people in the car business, as you know. You are one of the hardest working women I know. And then they burn out. And of course, we hate turnover, but we can cause it by not providing more relevant tools to help them do their jobs more efficiently and more effectively. And so I would say long-term follow-up is one of the biggest challenges. Trying to find your in-market buyers is one of our biggest challenges. And I'll tell you what, when you find your in-market buyer, that customer is being clawed out by 5 other dealers. So the trick is to be memorable and to stand apart from your competitors. So whatever communications you're throwing down, videos, your texts, your emails, they've got to be ultra clever.
And when you talk about being memorable, what does that look like? Give me an example of how someone could set themselves apart as a salesperson.
Okay, so what I'm about to train on with all of our sales teams that I see every week is AI video. So when you're using products like Sora, these are free tools. Some of the guys will say to me, I'm not comfortable on video. I say, well, good news. We got an AI video tool for that. But these are things that I would recommend to replace an email, for example. Nobody wants to be emailed. Nobody likes any of that. You get lost in just competing with spam alone. And so an AI video, like a tool like that, you're uploading a headshot, you're doing some voice testing, and now it's going to shoot a video based on your prompt, like you would have put into GPT for text or an email, and now it's going to put together a video, very brief video. That's the follow-up. That's what's happening right now. Before that, I would say over the last maybe 3 months, I've been very hyper-focused on leveraging AI images for follow-up. So all text messages get an AI image. This is where I can tailor it, I can personalize it. So in my GPT image prompt, I'm gonna say something like, customer's name is Kerri, she's never bought from us before. I wanna welcome her to Toyota. She likes the Highlander, put the car in the background, put 3 selling points on the image, and let her know that we're the highest rated dealer in town. And it's gonna put together this beautiful image for free, and I'm gonna send it to you.
Awesome. And is this tied to what your company does as well? I know you launched Zuki Talk, and I'm curious, what are you doing there?
Very different. So with Zuki Talk, I'm taking everything from my classes with service advisors, and I'm recognizing a pain point for them. So one of the biggest pain points is making the phone call. It's a sacred call. It's a sacred moment. They've got the video that says this is what's going on with your car from the technician. And they've got the report, the multi-point inspection report that goes out on a text message. But sometimes the call that explains the work and what needs to be done is not being made. And so Tom, our voice AI now, will pick up the slack. So when they can't make the call, they don't want to make the call, Tom will go in calmly, consistently, and he'll get a faster approval.
You know, you're breaking the mold here of these conversational AI names. We were just talking about all of them are women.
Really?
Which is great. I don't mind that. But it's funny because every single one, there's Mia, and I think there's a Pam. And right? And so now you have Tom, right?
Yes, right,
going a different direction there. I like that. I mean, let's go back to kind of the internet lead handling. And by the way, great idea on your company.
Thank you.
You know, I think about some of the challenges I have seen. I've worked on the third-party lead provider side for decades as well. And it feels like trust is still an issue. And,
it is. And
consumers are asking questions and wanting things at home so that they don't have to go in. So there's a convenience factor. And what does an internet BDC person do? Because I think there's an idea that their job obviously is to get them in for the appointment, but there's a rub because the customer's like, give me something before I go in. Answer my questions. Like, how do you reconcile that when you're training departments?
Well, the first off, a lot of times we have got older strategies that have been around lingering for years and they don't work today. So I'll give you a quick example. If you try to invade my personal space at hello, you're not killing the game. So for example, with incoming sales calls, a lot of times people say, how'd you hear of us? Well, that doesn't benefit the customer, that benefits us. Oh, well, let me get your number in case we get disconnected. That process right there is so invasive. It doesn't help us to execute trust or even to try and attempt to build it, because you've already compromised our relationship. I don't want you to ask me for my phone number. You're at a car dealership. Earn it. And so for a lot of times, I think our attitude can be very welcoming, inviting too. So say an incoming call or an internet lead, my greeting, my introduction sets the tone. It sets the pace for what I intend to do. And I need to be a giver of value. Bring something to the table. Does this customer know what they're getting for their money? Before you ask them to do something. You cannot just ask people to come in for an appointment and think they're going to come in. There's going to be somebody better that they call, like me, who's going to say, hey, I'm Jen. I've been here for 10 years. My job is to make sure you're taken care of. I want to make sure you have a great experience with us. Some of the things we're known for is we're highly rated online for taking care of customers. We've been in business the longest here in this community, 60 years. You gotta boost people's confidence in you. They don't know what they don't know. And you got to ask the right questions.
Right, and I think people come in with a chip on their shoulder a little bit. They're skeptical.
Yeah.
And I'd heard a podcast I mentioned on the last interview I did, where it's not so much about building trust, the business building trust with the consumer. It's giving the consumer the confidence to trust themselves to say yes. In other words, like the customer thinks I'm going to make a mistake, and so if you give me the confidence that I feel confident in myself to say yes. Without buyer's remorse.
Yeah,
that's what we need
the pressure.
To do. Or without feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
So I think that to me still feels like a rub in 2026.
People try to race to the finish line too fast. They need to slow down, get to know the customer. My boss used to tell me that all the time, and I was thinking, oh, this guy's crazy. Now I'm like, get to know your customer. Yeah. You want to ask more questions. You want to investigate. You want to find out how you can truly help them. People want to know that you care. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't want to think. They don't want to feel like you're trying to rob them.
Yes, and I think one of the things you also brought up in terms of challenges is like sticking with the lead long enough, because we know like someone might follow up, a salesperson might follow up for a week or so when customers are still shopping for months.
They just getting warmed up.
Yeah, and so what does that look like for you? Are you seeing that as well?
I definitely see that. There's a lot of the customers that submit internet leads, they're not in-market buyers. They are literally just starting, potentially could be a year out. And we know that because they resurrect out of the blue multiple times throughout the year, don't set appointments, don't engage, and then suddenly engage, and it's been a year. So we see this repeatedly in the CRM. And I think you have to recognize that after 3 days, you need to change your tone. This is not an in-market buyer anymore, so you don't need to push them to do anything. You've already pressed them in the first 3 days, and now you need to provide information that helps them to feel confident about their choice. So if there's great things about your brand, there's promotions in your company, there's new services that you're adding to your service department, for example, these are things that I would push to stay connected, but always what can you give of value to the customer so people start to put together, hey, when the time is right, I think about you.
That's awesome. I think, where are things going? I think I want to talk about the future. And we've talked about AI. We've obviously been focused on AI, machine learning for over a decade now.
You're the OGs.
We're the OGs. But when it comes to the internet and BDC department, I think sometimes we can think of AI as replacing our jobs, right? It's going to replace us. How should the modern dealership think about how AI can help their internet BDC department?
I think that's one of the misconceptions about AI. And I notice a lot of people in my classes, all levels, all roles, as soon as they see an AI tool, they think that somebody's going to replace them. And the fear comes up. This is not going to help anybody get adoption of an AI tool. So one of the things that I strongly recommend, and I've been saying this in all of my presentations here at the NADA show, is that when you look at an AI product, you want to look at it not as a tool, but as a teammate. So I just let that sink in. It's not a tool, it's a teammate. And the teammate has to be welcomed and onboarded like you would any other human that you're bringing into your company. So I look at AI as a teammate. And so we need to find the stress points so that we're solving for that in each person's role. So it's not a replacement, it's to help them relieve stress points in their job.
Yeah, I like the teammate, because I would have probably said like assistant, you hear AI assistant, but a teammate almost has like a higher level of it.
We have to work together. We have to work together. AI is not something you just set it and forget it. AI is often misunderstood. And it is important that people recognize that it is about collaborating. So when I look to onboard an AI tool, I want everybody involved. And this is another big problem, is that sometimes whoever's been decision maker is like, this is shiny, it's awesome, let's get it. And then the team members that are supposed to be leveraging it to relieve their stresses don't know the tool, don't know how to use the tool. We're not talking collectively as a team to figure out what is a reshaping of the role and what is the reshaping of the process, so that we could plug this baby in and have it work as a team member.
Yeah, I love it. So, okay, lessons. I'm going to recap. So we've talked about continuous follow-up and sticking with it, right? Sticking with it. We've talked about being memorable in terms of our response. And we've talked about technology, making it our teammate. And lastly, buy-in. Right?
Yeah.
You need buy-in from leadership, everybody involved. I love it. Thank you. I mean, I wish we could talk for hours.
Days.
But man, I am proud to see you in our industry. I don't want to bring up the woman thing, but you are an amazing woman. But you're more importantly, you're an amazing leader in our business. So keep at it. How can people reach out to you, watch you? Where can they find you?
So many places. I have a big following on LinkedIn. I'm always pushing out content that's always going to help somebody be able to level up. So I think one of the best ways to reach out to me is on LinkedIn. I have edealersolutions.com, zukitalk.com. I have the podcast Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki, CBT News Network, very supportive of me. And let me just say, Kerri Wise has been in the business a long time, and she has a very unique skill set. And it's so nice to be on the same platform as you right now, just because I know that you see things from so many different sides. You know, whether it's a dealer angle or it's the other side of the coin, lead management, now VIN level marketing. It's just exciting to see you progress in this business too. And we need more people like you.
Yes.
You're a great leader.
We need more people like us.
And I'm proud to be here with you.
Proud to be here. That's live at Lotlinx with Jennifer Suzuki. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Here's to another NADA. Man, it's been some years. All right. See you guys later.